one of the best that I've used. It's about $130, and hey guys, Kole Northland here, Northland Adventures. Today I'm making some videos. You know, it's winter outside. I'm pretty bored. I just got done talking about Texas rigs and jigs, the two most things that I use while I'm out on the water fishing for bass. Okay. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with the Texas rig. Alright, I'm going to tell you what kind of pole I use, which is right now I've got it on a Verdict, which is a 7-foot medium heavy. It's an Garcia. It's one of their it's a couple steps up from Veritas. They run about 150, 160 bucks. It's a very, very light pole, very sensitive, and I think it's, you know, some of the best for the money. You know, I can't afford really the legend tournaments like the pros and all that, but I'm going to tell you guys what I like, what I don't like, and yeah, I mean, I really like this pole. That's pretty much what I got to say about it. Anyway, so I've got this on a medium heavy 7-foot Verdict. I've got a 701 gear ratio. It's a Quantum Accurist. I love this reel. I do a lot of pitching and flipping with this reel, and it is one of the best that I've used. It's about $130, and yeah, it's very, very good for the price. Like I said, that's what I look for when I'm out shopping for my gear. You know, I go over reviews, and this combo is definitely my favorite for pitching and flipping. For line, I've got 12-pound clear Sunline Fluorcarbon. I don't use mono hardly at all. Ever since I switched over to the Sunline Fluorcarbon, that's what I use. I mean, it's on point. You get a lot more hook setting power because there's no stretch in fluorocarbon, so I use it in a lot of my pitching and flipping. I'm not going to use this in super heavy cover just because it's 12-pound line. It's not very strong, but for Texas rigging, you know, if I'm going over a big tree that doesn't have a lot of little sticks and snags and stuff, I'm going to throw this Texas rig here. Okay, I got my creature bait, my tungsten 1/4 ounce weight, and I've also got my bobber stop on there. So I'm going to show you how to set up this this Texas rig here. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to show you how to tie a Texas rig, alright? Like I said, I usually use 12-pound fluorocarbon. I'm going to pull out some 65 braid because I know when I watch fishing videos on YouTube, a lot of times people use clear line and I can't see what the heck they're doing. So I'm going to try my best to get this right. Okay, so we've got our line here. We've got our bobber stop. This is an important thing. One thing I want to mention is you don't use a bobber stop when you're throwing a plastic worm. Like a 10-inch or 12-inch. This is 12-inch. Throw one of these. Don't use a bobber stop, okay? So what's going to happen is when your weight sinks to the bottom, if you have a bobber stop on there, that's going to pull your worm all the way down to the bottom. You want that worm to float just about 6 inches. You want it to slowly fall down on its own. You know, if you're in super heavy cover, well, then I suppose you could probably put one on there. But for me, I'm not going to do that, okay? Next thing, after your bobber stop, you're going to put on your weight. You're going to use a bullet sinker, just like this one. It's just a regular, I think this is a 1/2 ounce weight. And the hole on this is pretty small. Excuse me. Okay, so we've got our weight on there. Now, this is a very important part, okay? What I want to teach you is a Snell knot, okay? Now, this knot, when you use a hook like this, actually any hook, if you're going to be using a free-floating weight, this is very important, okay? Okay, so we've got our weight here with our bobber stop, alright? And I'm going to pull that down so that the weight's not pulling on the line, alright? So with the hook point up, I'm going to take this line, I'm going to put it down through the hole. This is important. You have to get this right because if it's backwards, it's really going to screw things up for you. Alright, now with this down here, I'm going to hold the line. I like to pull out about 5-6 inches of line, okay? I'm going to hold it down here. See how the line is there? I'm going to pinch it right up here. Okay? And then I'm going to take this tag end, this extra 5-6 inches, I'm going to wrap in one direction right around the shank of the hook, okay? You don't have to do it right up by the eyelet, which is the way I started out doing it, and it makes it very difficult. Okay? Because it's going to slide up. And then you've got here, you've got that loop that you left down there for when you wrapped it. Alright? All I want you to do is just want you to pull your line through. And here comes the magic. See how that's tightening up on that? And then before you snug it too tight, pull it, slide it up there. Just like that. Perfect. So my camera's not focusing. Okay, the reason why I tie a Snell knot right here. Okay? When your bait is floating just like this, okay? The fish grabs onto it. Look at what's gonna happen. You see how that pops straight up? Boom. Boom. Right into the fish's mouth. Okay? Cut this here. Finally, what you're going to do is you're going to take your bait and your hook. You're going to slide the hook down to where it bends up here. Stop it there. Poke it out the side. Push it all the way down so that the eyelet just barely sticks out. And here comes the tricky part. You want this bait to be as straight as possible so that it goes straight down into the water. Okay? See how I've got a bend there? I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some finagling done here. I'm going to get it through just like that. Perfect. Okay. So I got your weight down here. I'm going to take my bobber stop. I'm going to slide it down here. And that is your finished Texas rig right there.